Hello, I'm Deanna Herron, host of the Deanna Herron Podcast Show. Have you ever wanted to do something bold, like start a business, write a book, or go for your dream job? This show was created for women just like you who want to be bold, shine bright with grace. My goal is to educate you, inspire you, and empower you with ideas that can transform your life. Be inspired by the Deanna Herron Podcast Show at deannaherron.net. Hello, gorgeous. This is Deanna Herron, and welcome to the Deanna Herron Podcast Show. And yes, I am talking to you, gorgeous one. This is Deanna Herron. I'm your friend, your mentor, your coach, and welcome to the podcast. On today's podcast, I'm going to share with you a very personal story, an experience of mine that I went through as I was building my side hustle alongside my career. So I want to talk to you about burnout because that is something that I experienced myself. And if I can help you along your journey to work smart and not always so hard, I can keep you from that same experience. You know what? Avoiding burnout as you are creating the life that you desire is really, really important. And if you don't know what you don't know, you won't know how to avoid it. And there's so many of us who are building their passion, their side hustle. Maybe you're an entrepreneur as well as a working mom. So how do you do both and take care of you? So that's what I want to talk to you about today. Avoiding burnout really is going to help you stay motivated and passionate about what you do for years and years while you're maintaining a healthy relationship with your family. I want to say that again. So important. Avoiding burnout will help you sustain that motivation and that passion about what you do while you're maintaining healthy relationships with yourself as well as your family. So let's talk about what the cost is to you on avoiding burnout. You know, when I was practicing medicine, I saw many busy women who were a mom as well as an entrepreneur who had a career, etc. And they were overworked. They suffered from low energy. Their relationships were suffering. Their body was taking a toll. And basically what I saw in my practice is a lot of autoimmune diseases related to the stress, adrenal fatigue, depression, and the list goes on, you guys. And so our body keeps the score. That's a book. If you haven't read that, I would recommend it. Our body truly does keep the score. And so we want to make sure that we're healthy and we maintain a level of health while we are doing all the things that we want to achieve in life. And you can have that quote balance. And I'm going to talk to you about that. There is a way that you can have both family and working for your dreams. You don't have to sacrifice everything in your life today for your future. So my story is I was practicing medicine. Most of you who have been with me on this podcast, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate this community so much, and I'm so grateful to be able to share from my heart and my experiences and hopefully add so much value to you. So my story is I practiced medicine as a physician's assistant. I worked a very busy internal medicine practice, which I loved. I adored. It was a passion of mine. And it was something that I'd worked very hard for. I self-supported myself through college. This is kind of my my pattern. And I self-supported myself through college, went to PA school, graduated, and was in a very, very busy practice. And I loved it. It challenged me every single day. And that's what I loved about it. But there was a point where my husband and I, we were building a very young family. And women, most of us know that once you have that first baby, it's like your whole life starts to change, your priorities change. And I desperately wanted to be more involved in that baby's life. I wanted to be able to see him do the things that you so desire to watch your child do for the first time, crawl and walk and speak and laugh and giggle and all of those things. And I felt like going to work 50 to 60 hours a week, I was missing out on a lot. And I wanted to be part of the most precious times in his life and not just have the leftovers at the end of the day. So I was looking for something where I could have the best of both worlds. And I want you to know there is the best of both worlds. You can have a career and spend a lot of time with your family. And I was able to find that you can have both. That does exist. I knew it existed. And it was something that really fell into my lap and has been just an amazing, amazing opportunity for me. I started to work both. I was practicing medicine as a PA because that's where our income was coming from while I was building my dream. And it took extra hours to build my dream on top of my 50 to 60 hours a week. My go-to is work hard, get it done, go, 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 get to the goal, and then everything will be okay, right? So that is my go-to. I want you to understand that. And so if that is your go-to, you have a history of that being who you are, I want to tell you and share with you there's another way to do it, because I am doing it today. And if you're a young mom and you're looking at a side hustle, you're looking for that dream where you could have financial freedom and flexibility and be home with your kids, I want to forewarn you of what you're up against. And so I just wanted it so bad and I wanted it so quick that I was willing to work so hard and go all in 190% to achieve my goal. But here's what happened, you guys, is I was unable to do a PA career, a side hustle career, and have family time and be present in each one of them. And that's the key. I just want you to know that's the key, because I was so laser focused on the one thing, the future, that I lost focus in the present. And I wasn't always present in my practice, and I wasn't always present in my home, but I was always present in the business that I was building for the future. That's so unhealthy. It's so unhealthy. My physical health was not great. I am a person that when I stress, I lose weight. So my physical health wasn't good. My sleep habits weren't good. My mental health was not great. I felt depressed. I was energyless. I sometimes had difficulty with motivation and passion and had to figure out a way to get myself back up and out the door. And I was able to do that through my why. My why was huge. I wanted to be home with those babies, but I was determined to make it happen. And let me just share with you this little analogy. So I had this opportunity to go on a kayak adventure with one of my girlfriends, and love the water. We live around water. We're on the lake constantly, but I had never had the experience of kayaking myself. And so we went on this kayak trip. Neither one of us had ever done this. And it was such an amazing day. And if you've never had the opportunity to do that, just allow yourself to be present. And I was very present in the moment during the kayak adventure. And what I noticed is, and this shows you so much about my personality. So a kayak, you kind of row yourself through the river, etc. Well, the river, it happened to be extremely busy on this particular day. So there were people in rafts, there were people swimming, there were people in just floats, and we were in a kayak. And there were times when my friend was in front of me. So she was in front of me, she was a little ways away, and we were doing this together. And so I had this huge thing inside me that told me that I needed to catch up with her. I needed to catch up with her. And I would start rowing and paddling and trying to catch up with her. And all of a sudden the wind in Oklahoma is outrageous, but the wind would have this force against me, and I would continue to paddle. And I noticed I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't going anywhere, but I was still trying really hard to catch up with my friend. And in that moment, I just relaxed and I thought, Deanna, this is your life. This is what you do. You paddle hard to try and get things done. And the wind is blowing against you, but you're still trying hard and you're striving to get to where you want to go instead of thriving. And so I sat still for just a minute and thought, this is interesting. This is a pattern in my life. I don't know if you can relate to this, but this is how I've always done it. I have just had to do it. And it's just that continuation of trying to get where I want to go, paddling against the wind, feeling like I'm paddling upstream. And all of a sudden, I realized at this moment, wow, there to the left of me, there was this awesome flow of water, this awesome flow of energy beside me. And I'm sitting in the middle of the river that is standing basically still, fighting against the wind. And I'm thinking, wouldn't it be better if I just got in the flow of that water and allowed the flow to take me to my destination? And you guys, that's what you want to find in your business. You want to find the flow, the mix between working your business as an entrepreneur, as a working mom with a career, as a side hustle, while you are able to be present with yourself and present with your family. And I managed to pedal over to that flow. And guess what happened? That flow, when I started paddling, I went a lot faster. But there were many times when I just was present in the moment, and that flow actually took me beyond where my friend was. Isn't that amazing? I still reached the goal, but the work was less, it wasn't as hard as I was making it out to be while I was paddling in the wind. That is what happens when you are able to be present in each situation. I was so future focused, so focused on reaching that goal that I lost precious moments. And so working hard for something when you lose everything else, you guys, is not worth it. I kept telling myself, when I get there, then I'll focus on my family. Then I'll focus on my health. Then I'll exercise more. And then I'll have time to eat healthy, when it's actually the opposite. You want to take care of you so that you're fueling your body with the energy that you need to get to where you want to go, as well as being present with yourself and your family. So what should you be aware of? I'm going to give you 5 signs of overworking syndrome. And overworking is steps to burnout, and you don't want to reach the burnout. Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 signs that you can be aware of that maybe you are in that overworking syndrome. So number 1, do you always feel behind? That is a sign that maybe you're overworking. You spread yourself too thin. You can't keep up. You feel like you're burning the candle at both ends. And I'm going to tell you, that was a badge of honor for me. Being crazy busy was a badge of honor. And you guys, that's not a badge of honor at all. I remember one time that a really good friend of mine, and I still have it on my keychain, and I'm going to remove it after this podcast, but she gave me this cute little keychain, actually, that is Wonder Woman. And she said, Deanna, this is you. You are Wonder Woman. And I have worn that on my keychain for probably about 12 years as a badge of honor. Yes, I am. I am Wonder Woman. I can do all things. You guys, that's not a badge of honor. It isn't. I can tell you today, I am a Wonder Woman because I choose to be present in my work. And when I'm not in my work, I'm present with my family. And when I'm taking care of me, I'm present in that moment. But the key is I'm taking care of me through all of it. So Do you feel behind on a consistent basis? Maybe you've just spread yourself too thin, and you need to look at what things you can delete or alleviate or delegate at this particular time on your journey so that you can have the energy that you need to get to where you want to go. Number 2, do you have an inability to unplug? Whoa, hello, that was totally me. I couldn't unplug. In fact, I couldn't even sit and watch a movie without worrying about, oh my gosh, what if someone calls me? Or what if my phone goes off? Or what if someone wants to place an order? Or what if I need to talk to somebody about this and that? I couldn't unplug. Constantly checking my email, constantly thinking that I needed to be doing something in the nooks and crannies of every single minute of my day in order to be successful. It's not true. It isn't true. Okay. I felt like I was going to miss something. So it was the inability to unplug. I have to tell you that the ability to unplug is so healthy for your mindset. So when we're constantly on the go, we're actually in fight or flight syndrome, and it can cause adrenal fatigue. When you have and you learn to unplug, and it is learning if you're a go, go, go person, and you're constantly striving for that next, it is a learned behavior. Learning to unplug is so healthy for your mindset. You're actually activating some calming effects to your body. Number 3, sign that you may be an overworking syndrome is, do you miss more time away from your family and it doesn't seem to bother you anymore? I reached a point where my goals were so big that I was missing time away from my family. And I kept telling myself, it will be okay. I'll catch up with them later. And I felt very disconnected on a day-to-day basis with my family. I'm just being honest, you guys. And I'm not saying it has anything to do with anything except that is what I chose to do. And it was because I had the inability to see that I needed to unplug. I needed that time with my precious family members to build myself back up. Okay. Number 4, have you lost your passion for your work? When you hustle all the time and you put in mega hours, I'm going to tell you what happens is you lose your creativity. So working and checking things off your list is the left side of your brain. Your creativity and the flow, following in that left side of the river that is actually going to take you where you want to be, is the right side of your brain. And the only way that you can activate that right side of your brain, that feminine energy, is to be able to unplug. And if you don't unplug, if you're not present, you're going to lose passion for your work. So creativity requires rest and restoration for your body. And it requires you to really put on that feminine energy, that nurturing yourself, being still, being quiet, exercise, energy, fuel for your body. The hustle is masculine energy. So when I was first building my business, learning to become an entrepreneur, every book that I read was from a male author. Every leader that I followed was male. And you guys, the masculine energy, that male, go, 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 hustle, 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 is not meant for us women. We have a certain amount of hustle, but we don't have to hustle all the time to reach the goals that we want to reach. There are times when we have to be in that flow of feminine energy, and that's being present and taking care of you. I'm going to say that over and over at this podcast. Number 5, is your energy low? Do you feel depressed? Do you lack motivation? Worst case scenario, when you're close to really being burnt out, you start to notice changes in your body, like weight gain, weight loss, maybe some thyroid issues, some body aches and pains, brain fog. Hello. When you're so busy, your brain can't function. Or maybe difficulty concentrating and insomnia. So your energy is low. because you're not really allowing your body that rest, not allowing yourself to be in that feminine energy flow. You are created to live the life you want, but you're not created to live your life in the future all the time. We have to be present in today and take care of us. And so, if nothing ever happens in my life except I teach you to take care of you and not feel guilty for taking care of you, my work on this earth is done, because I have done it the other way. And the way that I do it today is so much better. The freedom that I have, that loss of go, 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 go all the time, the ability to sit on my front porch in the morning and meditate and look at nature and feel that fuel happening before my day starts. The freedom to be able to take a break and read a book in the middle of the day. If that's what my body needs, I'm going to take that break. So listening to what your body needs. So burnout is a real issue, you guys, and so is overworking syndrome. So be aware of where you are in that cycle and prevent yourself today from going into that burnout. So I want you to know that there is such a thing as work-life balance. And I would like to tell you it's 50% work, 50% family, but it doesn't always happen that way. It doesn't always happen that way. When I was practicing medicine, I have to tell you that there were times when I had to stay a little bit later while I was practicing medicine to catch up on my charts. But it was a communication that I had with my family. And hey, I have to stay a little bit later. I'll be home and we will have family time and I'll play with you on Saturday or whatever. And there's times when mommy has to stay a little bit later in order for her to get her work done. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to be with you. And we are going to have some quality time on Friday, whatever that looks like. And then it's the same when you are doing your work. You have to know there will be times when you have to shift over to your family being that priority and not feeling the guilt that your family is the priority. Maybe your kids are sick. Maybe they've been sick for a long time and you have to take care of them. That's your priority. So don't feel guilty when that shifts. So you're going to shift. It's not always going to be 50-50, 50% work, 50% family time, etc. And just be willing to make that shift. And it's all about that communication that you have with your boss. Maybe that boss is you, or or your family. So the communication is so important. So here are some keys that I want to give you to keep yourself from overworking and really taking care of you. So there are 3 musts for your day, 3 musts. And you guys, you have to trust the process. You have to trust the process that you don't have to burn the candle at both ends to succeed. You have to trust the process. Know that what you're doing, if you're doing what it takes to be successful, you're able to put it to rest for the day and trust the process. There's a saying that I've heard recently. It says a healthy person has 1,000 wishes, but a sick person only has 1. Be the healthy person. Don't be the sick one. And so do what you need to do and trust the process. So number 2, recharge. You have to recharge. So I want you to think of this as your cell phone. And my cell phone, I'm constantly having to recharge. And there's some things that I do daily just to charge myself up, because I can't give if my cup is empty. And so the things that I do on a daily basis is I mind my mind through meditation. I read, and there are times when I just have to sit and breathe and just sit and breathe and be present. So that's my daily, just keeping me recharge. That's something that I do for myself that I know will help me. And there are times when you guys, you're thinking, I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time to breathe. I don't have time to be still. You don't have time not to. It's that important. So even if you can sit still and allow your brain to rest and meditate for 10 minutes a day, you have the time. What if it's during your lunch hour? What if it's before you start dinner and you tell your husband and your family, "Hey, I'm going to go sit in my closet for a minute," and you are just still. Whatever that takes, you do have time to take care of you. It's just whether or not you make it a priority. One of the things that I do that really helps me recharge, and this is like charging your cell phone overnight, right? We plug it in because we know, well, in the morning, I'm going to have a lot of energy on my cell phone, a lot of battery life because I've plugged it in all night. And so one of the things that I do is I make sure that I get plenty of sleep. 7 to 9 hours. That's what my body requires. What does your body require? Get the rest that you need for restoration. So taking care of that body through sleep, taking care of that body through foods that fuel your body and nourish you and give you energy. I am very in tune today to the foods that drain me and the foods that energize me. And I'm not 100% on the foods that drain me. There are times when I'm like, okay, I'm going to have this burger and fries or whatever, but just knowing that my energy may suffer. But 98% of the time, I'm eating the foods that fuel me. Boring? No. Worth it? Yes. 100% worth it because I have big goals of adding value, so much value to you, to the people who read my book and in my future, that I want to sustain a certain level of energy to live the life that I'm creating at this moment in the present. Another way to recharge is you need to recharge spiritually. Connection, relationship with God is very important. Meditation, prayer, however that is for you. And then frequently, this is one thing that I really had to learn, is travel frequently with your family and play often. Play is something that I didn't let in my life because all of my life, my thinking was, I'm going to do the hard work, and then I'll play, right? I wouldn't even go out with my friends when I was in high school until all of my homework was done. That's just the way that I interpreted the way that I grew up, is play comes after the work. I would encourage you to give yourself an opportunity to play. However that was, as you were a little girl, maybe it's going to the playground and swinging on the swings. Maybe it's getting down on the floor and playing with your kids, like really playing. Let that your mind wander and activate that playtime with your kids. For me, it's my reels on Instagram. That's my playtime. Everyone talks about, I've heard so much about, Deanna, your reels are so fun. Well, they're fun because I'm actually playing. That is my playtime. It's not a big deal to me to spend 30 minutes making a couple, 2 or 3 reels when I actually enjoy it. It's playtime for me. So I just want you to know that the best things in life, truly, it's the people in your life that you're able to have experiences with. And so have as many experiences as you can in this life while you're building your dream. Don't wait for those experiences until you get there. And then lastly, number 3, learn to listen intuitively to what you need. So at any given moment, if you feel tired, if you feel sick, if you're having body aches and pains, if you have zero passion or motivation, you need to ask yourself, what is it that I need right now? And sit still with yourself and give yourself what you need. Maybe it's a massage. Maybe it's treating yourself to a pedicure. Maybe it's taking a nap in the middle of the day. Maybe it's taking a walk with your dog. I don't know what that is for you, but you need to learn to listen to your body intuitively and go where your body wants you to go. So, you guys, I just want you to know that I am so grateful for this community of women. I hear from you every single day how this has made such a difference in your life. And I want you to know it's made a difference in my life as well. I've been on a personal growth journey for the last year and a half. And the growth that I've experienced in the last year and a half, I want you to experience the same, because the way that I feel about who I am today is light years better than the way I felt about myself a year and a half. And it's just been through growing myself personally and learning the things that I'm teaching you today. So I pray that this has added great value to you. So many of you know that I'm running a little challenge and I'm offering a 30-minute one-on-one coaching call. If you leave a review on Apple Podcasts. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're on Apple, it would mean the world to me if you would rate and review this podcast and share it with your family and friends. And when you leave a review, we're going to put your name in a drawing for a one-on-one 30-minute coaching call. So the person whose review, her name is Faithful Daughter. So I don't know what your real name is, but thank you for an awesome review. And she says, this is my first time listening, and a friend of mine linked this podcast in our 75 Hard Challenge group. I'm so happy she did. Your story and honesty touched my heart and spirit. It's like you were telling my story. Such great insight. Thank you. Thank you, Faithful Daughter. And whoever put this podcast in the 75 Hard Challenge, I appreciate it. So if that is you, reach out to me on Instagram and we will set up that one-on-one coaching call. We can coach about anything you want: health, business, family, whatever that is. As long as I have any level of experience in that, I'm happy to coach you in whatever it is that you need. So again, thank you for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. God bless you. Love you.